Hello, everyone. Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you, as always, from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. So you guys have asked for it, and we have finally gotten around to it. I am here with my friend Denise Roberge, Reverend Denise, actually. And this is high tea with Reverend Denise. And let's see, it is about 10:30. So it's as close to high tea as I think we've ever gotten, even though I think high tea is at 4 o'clock. So this is morning tea. And this is coffee. And what do you
It's still pretty high though, don't you think?
Yeah, always high with us. We're always at like just higher than the average bear, I would say.
Higher than the average bear, I would say that.
What are you drinking this morning?
I am drinking ginger mint tea.
Oh, you are so good. I am.
Well, I had a little tummy thing, and it really helped. So
I know the herbal teas are amazing now. They the medicinal stuff and the yogi teas, they when I get sick, excuse me a second, I just choked on my coffee.
Oh dear.
I don't want people to think I'm sick. It just like a little went this way. Anyway, a little bit of coffee went in the wrong place, but they seem to like, they're very tasty, the medicinals, and they really work. When I get sick, I just drink tea.
I drink herbal tea every day, probably twice a day. That's all. That water, I have 1 cup of decaf coffee in the morning, herbal tea, and water is all I drink. Lemon water sometimes. Very rarely I will treat myself to something else, but that's pretty much what I drink. I feel like I'm flushing my system when I drink like this. It just feels good. I'm very hydrated. I drink about 12 ounces of lemon water first thing in the morning, and that opens up the ducts to the liver and stimulates the organs and stimulates the intestines, and it just it wakes the body up from the inside.
I had an aunt who used to make herself like a hot lemonade in the morning.
Oh, hot's even better. Yeah.
Water and lemon.
I used to take apple cider vinegar and lemon every morning. And after a while, the apple cider vinegar started making me want to give it back. So I was like, well, I'll get my apple cider vinegar some other way. I'm just going to stick to lemon water for now.
We just found a recipe. Well, we went to a restaurant and we had these amazing Brussels sprouts, which of course is not a conversation I thought I was going to have this morning, but so they're like, you know how you can make them like not burnt, but like caramelized. And then there's agave, habanero, and apple cider vinegar. Oh my God, they are phenomenal. Just absolutely.
Brussels sprouts are cooked well. There's nothing like it. I love it. I even like them just steamed.
I just started eating Brussels sprouts a few years ago. That was something
if I'm in a hurry, I just steam them and then put vinegar on and a little bit of salt on them. They're really good.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up with fresh vegetables, but Brussels sprouts were never one of them. It just wasn't something Italians ate. So we had a lot of peas, we had a lot of beans, you know.
Yeah, peas, beans, and carrots I grew up on.
Yeah.
And I grew up on, not all year round, but for a good part of the year, we grew up on canned vegetables. In the summertime, we had fresh vegetables.
Right.
Because there were farm stands everywhere, and we had fresh.
Well, we also grew up in a time when canning became a thing. Yeah. So it was like the thing to feed your family. You don't want to fresh.
I still have family members that do canning.
Yeah. Yes.
I wish I was that ambitious. Not.
We try to if we can if we have extra. This year it wasn't a great garden year because of all the rain.
Yeah.
So we didn't get as much as we normally get. And then Michael hurt his foot, so he couldn't do a lot of the maintenance on the garden. So we have some beautiful morning glories that look fabulous, but they shade a lot of the vegetables, so we didn't get as many.
Didn't you have to trim those back last year? Wasn't it last year you had to trim them down or trim them back?
We trim them every year. They keep coming
Oh.
back. They're a perennial.
Yeah, I know
And,
they are. Yeah.
and that particular, the really purpley one that we have, we actually got those seeds from our honeymoon. And when we were in San Diego, one of your favorite places to
Yeah.
go, right?
San Diego.
And my husband, we were like, these are beautiful. So of course, my husband takes the seeds, wherever he goes. He's the green man. I'm not complaining. And we put them in where we used to live. And then we took the seeds from there and we put them where we bought the house now, right? 17 years ago. And they just grow like crazy. It's the same seeds, really. It's the same plant from those seeds that we planted
that's
on our
cool.
honeymoon. So, Michael tries to pull them out, but I always say, don't pull them all out. That's with our honeymoon flowers, but they come back whether we pull them out or not.
They come back with a vengeance. Yeah.
We have them in our burn pile. We have them in our compost pile. We have everywhere.
So
all right,
what's on your mind these days?
Yeah,
Miss
so that
Vicki?
was enough chit chat, right? Everybody's like, when are you guys going to get to it? Well, so I'll tell you what's been on my mind. And, full disclosure, Denise and I do a little chat before we get on, and we chat about what is the thing that we've been thinking about, or what's sort of coming in our mind. And connection, mushrooms, and division. That was what we came up with as maybe perhaps a theme we could go with. So
we could also talk about trees. But
that was
that's connection.
That's connection and mushrooms. That was sort of in that, but thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, I think this is our 10th, right? This is our 10th high tea.
I think it's 10th. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's our 10th one. Yeah.
I think it might be 10 or it could be 11, but if it's 10, that's great, because it's a new cycle, right? If it's 11, it's a master number. That's great. Maybe the next one will be the 11, and we'll do something super special on the 11.
Sounds good.
As spiritual light messengers. That's the 11 vibration.
Nice.
So which of the things that we decided to talk about do you want to start with, Denise? I'm going to let you start.
I like to talk speak from more the glass is half full sort of perspective. And that isn't always easy in the energy of division that seems to appear all around us with COVID. And I don't want to get into COVID too deeply. I'm only mentioning it because I don't want to really talk about it. But with that, and with politics and Democrat versus Republican and vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers, and there's all kinds of I'm right, no, I'm right, I'm right, no, I'm right, you're wrong, I'm right, black, white, and so many of us really do live in the middle. They don't represent most of us. The pole, those opposites are not where a lot of us fall. A lot of us fall somewhere on the continuum. And I feel that we are the people that aren't as strident one way or the other deserve to have a conversation as well. So I would like to sort of speak to the people that are open to hearing about the middle way and connection, and how do we heal the divisiveness that's going on in the world right now. Because if someone only watched the news, you would think America was crap going down the tubes, ready to collapse. And I really don't think it's that dire. I really don't. I think it's the media that gets in the way and blows certain things up and under reports other things. Statistics are overblown, underblown, misread, misrepresented. So it's really hard to know the facts if you listen to the mainstream media. And so thus, when someone will get all wound up about something they saw in the news, and then a week later it's like, oh, that turned out not to be true. So what is the value of staying in our own authenticity? What is the value of staying in our own sense of connection with all that is, with the universe, with God, with source? I'd like to talk about ways that we can become more centered and aligned and be the willow tree that bends rather than the pine tree or the oak tree that snaps. And this energy, I'm talking about the middle way energy, is the place where if enough of us can reach a critical mass, we can, and we live in harmony with ourselves. We live in harmony, more or less. It doesn't mean we're perfect. That doesn't mean we have to be perfect at anything. It doesn't mean we
Well,
can't
I
have
don't know
opinion.
about you, but I'm pretty damn perfect.
Well, you're closer than I am to perfect, probably. I don't know. I'm
That
way
was a
not.
joke, folks.
I
That was a joke.
know, I was joking too. No, I'm way more perfect. I'm way more perfect than you. No, I'm kidding.
We're all
And
perfect. We're all
we
perfect.
are all perfectly imperfect, and that's what was meant to be. That's human. We are not souls incarnated in a body for no reason. We're here because we want some contrast. We want some obstacles to overcome. We want some reasons to get closer to our own inner power and become empowered and find out who we are and what we believe and what we want to know more about. I don't think we really came here to fight with each other. I don't think that's really the grand purpose, although
Well, actually,
it does serve a purpose. I'm not saying it
yes,
doesn't serve a
actually in esoteric, in the 7 rays, I don't know if you've heard of the 7 rays.
I
The fourth ray is harmony through conflict. And that is the ray of the earth. That is the ray that we are learning.
Well,
about.
I would say harmony through contrast, and conflict is one aspect of contrast. Yes, we all have contrast. We all have conflict. And the joy of life is in the overcoming of all that. So in this time and space that we're in these divisive energies that we're in, I've gone through phases, I have, when I have hated things and people and situations in politics, and I have been enraged and had to work my way through.
Yes, yeah. I was thinking of that yesterday. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
I think it's important that we acknowledge however we're feeling, and however we're feeling isn't wrong. It's just kind of, I think, important to set an intention to overcome and to get to the other side. Feel it, deal with it, marinate with it, and let whatever needs to be let go, and come back to balance. That's the harmony in conflict. That's what it's about. It's about feeling and doing and saying whatever needs to be done in order to get to harmony, and that includes all conflict and all contrast.
I think there's, and I agree. So what's coming to me as you're saying this is that we come in on planet Earth, a soul incarnating into a body. A personality or ego is created so that we can function in this dense environment.
Amen. We don't want to get rid of our egos. We want to learn how to use them.
Ultimately, in the way I look at it, is that the ego is simply a conduit for spirit to manifest light into the denser. And that's how, as light comes in, it dispels the darkness. It loosens up the darkness. And so I also feel like that's why we're seeing so much darkness. You can't have light without darkness, and darkness without, you can have darkness without light, but there's that, it's that thing you just talked about, that contrast, learning through contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And so when at times of great, that's why as things collapse, and there are many things collapsing, a lot of beliefs that we had,
a lot of old conditioned patterns, a lot of old ways of being.
But beliefs like those sacred cows that we held on to, those things are being asked to be released. The south node of the moon, the transiting south node, which indicates what we need to let go of in order to evolve, is in Sagittarius, which is our beliefs and our religious conditionings. And that whole idea that of, the Judeo-Christian sort of martyr, victimizer complex that comes with all of that. We have to see it. I know, but it's not going to go anywhere until we're aware of it, and we see it, and we look at it for what it is, simply a thought form, and we can move into a higher vibrational thought form.
Right.
where everybody benefits. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I mean, I don't know. I guess not everybody would benefit. It depends on what side of the benefit, whether
Well,
the line
Abraham
you're on.
Hicks always teaches that there is no subject, every subject is two subjects, wanted and
Yes.
unwanted. And so every issue that you could come up with to discuss that's going on in the country, like Democrat versus Republican, vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers,
Maskers,
etc.
anti-maskers, and you can be
Exactly.
different things.
Well,
You
and you
can
know, you can,
be,
and people, there's a continuum, and people can be anywhere along in the middle, or they can be far on the far ends of the opinion. But when I watch a news report, or I'm out in the world talking to people, my family, other people, and I hear them get really, really strident about how
right,
unvaccinated people are ruining this country, are bringing us down. We're going to be the ruination of this country. And, you know, they have these really hostile opinions about people who are not vaccinated. And then you talk to the anti-vax people, and they're like, if you take the vaccination, you're foolish, you're going to die, you know, stupid, it's poison, it's not even FDA approved. And who do you know, what are you, crazy? You want to be ruled? You want your country to control you? I mean, there's all these very, and this is part of how we're collapsing the old structure. This all serves a purpose from a higher perspective.
So let me point this out, because this, and this is not an astrology thing, but you do, even though you're not in astrology, you have an intuitive ability to understand it.
Yeah, I do.
So in the sky right now, we have Pluto in Capricorn, right? Pluto is transformation. Capricorn is the structures of power. So ever since Pluto went into Capricorn, we've had a transformation of, the first thing that happened was the banks, the whole world's economy nearly collapsed. That's
What
the
year
first
was
thing
that? What was the year that, what year was that?
2008. 2008, right? Just you know, just when or was it 2009 that happened? Well, anyway,
I don't know.
Kind of just when Barack Obama got in, like the whole world was collapsing.
I think he was
Now
elected
we have
in 2008 and started in 2009.
in 9, right?
Yeah.
Right. And he started the first, yes, it was 2008, because it's at the end of the Bush, remember at the end of the Bush presidency, we started hearing about the collapse of the thing because of AIG and all of that stuff.
Right. The housing market.
The housing thing and
all of the bad mortgages and
right.
Yeah.
All the predatory lending and that stuff. So, and that's Scorpio, by the way, lending and predatory Scorpio. But we were in that mess when Obama came in, and then now, of course, we're in a different kind of mess as Biden comes in. But I think I'm losing my point. You have to give me, what was I talking about before that? I'm sorry.
You were trying to make a point about.
Oh, I know what's in the sky, Pluto. So Pluto is there. There's also something called Eris. And the interesting thing about Eris is she's sort of like she's in the same category as Pluto, because she's in the same area of space, and she has like similar density and all that stuff, right? But she was discovered in, I believe it was either 2003 or 2006. And Pluto has like a 250-year orbit. She has a 500-year orbit. So she's like twice as far out. So when that's the case, the planet that's furthest out is sort of the focal planet. And you see what the other planet is doing in relationship to that planet. And Pluto is in something called the last quarter crisis in consciousness square. And that means that we are questioning authority. All authority, political authority, religious authority,
even parental authority. Kids are not relating to their parents at all, like we did when we were growing up. And I say yay, but you know, it causes issues.
It's a battle. It's amazing. I don't have children.
Kids come out of the womb awake now. They don't take their time to wake up. They come in self-directed and with their eyeballs focused and knowing what, and as every experience happens, they know if they want it or they don't want it, and they don't acquiesce. They just stomp their feet and scream and yell until they get what they want. And that goes all through childhood. And so thus, any of us that were raised as with authoritarian structures, some of us don't know how to handle this. And the thing is, we can't. We have no more authority. Spiritually, this is how it was meant to be. These kids would have come in and say, all the authority structures that parents have had forever are different now. You have to treat me with respect. You have to treat me with love. You have to listen to me. We have to negotiate. You can't control me. So it's the feminine principle. Parenting is no longer a masculine thing. It's no longer masculine. It's now feminine. And if you don't cooperate and negotiate and listen and let kids have a lot of self-determination, it's going to be head banging, head banging, head banging, head banging. I talk to people with with kids all the time, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, you can't tell them no unless you really, really mean it.
Yeah.
I tell people, come up with 2 or 3 bottom lines and stick to those, and everything else is negotiable. And because the kids are not interested in authority. So when the kids are not interested in authority, you know that the world is changing when the kids don't respond. They don't. You can whack them, beat them, lock them up, do whatever you want. It's going to work. They're still going to go.
Well, mostly they medicate them.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Mostly they medicate. In fact,
it's because parents and teachers don't know how to handle them.
They're a new energy.
They are brand new.
That's the thing. They come in as a new energy. So it's like COVID. We don't know what to expect. Right. You get exposed to this virus, this new virus. That's kind of like the kids. I mean, I'm not calling them viruses, but it's like new, like they come in, and a lot of them are very, very angry. And it doesn't have to do with this life. It has to do with a series of lifetimes in which they are, especially the kids now coming in with Pluto in Capricorn in 2008.
Change makers there.
They're the people who are going to rebuild the world because they have that Capricorn. But in order to do that, they have to evolve through the polarity point of Cancer, which is about nurturing. They need to be nurtured. We do not nurture our children. We put them out there in harm's way. We put them in schools, and then we let people have guns that can come in and shoot them. We do not protect our children.
Well, and it starts in the home too. I mean, it goes all the way through a child's life. It's this thing. They need nurturing when they're mad. They need nurturing when they think they don't need nurturing. They think they need nurturing through new experiences. They don't need rules. They don't need this is right and that's wrong. They don't need dogma. They don't need they don't need authority. They need love and nurturing.
We all need love and nurturing.
We all do, but kids are not taking anything else now. They're like, and when
that's
for example, my granddaughter, when she has one of her meltdowns, my son,
Leo, right? She's a Leo.
Oh, is she ever? Is she ever?
I know about Leo.
Yeah, so do I. The only thing that
both. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we've had
I got Leos.
We've had our Leo tyrants.
Oh, I got Leo, and I generally love Leos. Who doesn't?
I love them too. When there's a Leo at the party, I know that it's
some of my greatest teachers have been Leos, and you know what that means. But anyway, so you know what he is. My son is an intuitive parent. He didn't learn this from either one of us, although he learned some of it from me, but because I learned under fire with him, it being a Scorpio. He
a Scorpio and indigo child.
Indigo, yeah, he's
all of it.
So when she has a meltdown, instead of saying, "All right, I'm going to leave you alone. You can have your fit, and I'm walking away," or "I'm going to go sit in the car and wait for you to finish your meltdown," or what? No, that's when they need to be loved. So what he does is he talks to her. He says, "I know you're angry. I know you didn't want to go to the supermarket with me or whatever. I know you prefer to continue to play. I understand how you feel. That's not going to change anything. We still have to go get food. We have to eat. It's something that we have to do. And all people have to eat. And, this is a hypothetical, but this is how he talks to her while she's screaming and kicking. I understand how you feel, but it doesn't change the fact that we still have to go get food. I'm sorry you're upset, but we still have to go get food. We can't not get food. So,
that's
and he, oh, I hear you, I hear you. He lets her know that he's with her emotionally. He just happens to know what the priority is right now. And unfortunately, she's going to have to change what she's doing and come along with him at this point. But
right.
there are times when she gets to pick it. He'll say, you get to pick what we do. And he allows her the opportunity to do what makes her happy a lot of the time. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? How do you want to play today? Do you want to play outside? Do you want to go for a ride? Do you want to go out to breakfast? And he gives her a million options. And, so she has self-determination. And I think kids need that. They need.
I think that works with every child, but a Libra child, because a Libra child doesn't necessarily want.
They only want what the parent wants, right?
Well, they don't want to pick the wrong thing. It's like, could this be the wrong thing? So,
Yeah.
but
Well, anyway,
Leos already have it planned in their head. So, once you hit the thing the little check goes, then they know what they want.
Yeah. Well, the kids are fascinating today. She came out of the womb with her eyes open, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. She looked directly at you, like right in the eyeballs, and she was communicating right from minute she was born. She was communicating with her eyes.
Every child that I've had a baby, like little baby, that I've had an opportunity to look in their eyes, and I specifically look in their eyes, because a lot of people don't, they like the babies, but they don't, they can't stare into a baby's eyes.
They don't understand how to receive their energy.
It's too intense, really, because children are like, you're coming right out of the gate, right? When are you most, like energized? When the bell goes off and you go, right? So that's like birth, right? It's like, boom, you're out. And then you're like, so you're getting like pure, I think, more pure energy from them. Yeah. And every child that I've looked in their eyes has been not like ancient soul, like just staring into your soul.
Do you know who we're incarnating now? From what I understand and what I believe to be true, a lot of Atlanteans, a whole lot of Atlanteans are being incarnated right now. There have always been Atlanteans incarnated, since forever, since Atlantis, but they're coming to fix things. Yeah, they're coming to fix things. So back to how do we heal? How do we stay in the center of our own well-being and our own connection with source, with this insanity, with people all over the place, all around us, with situations that look nuts, with situations that look disastrous, and we're hearing all this gloom and doom, and it's scary. How do we keep our own center and stay in our own integrity and stay in our own values?
Is that a question for me to answer?
I'm asking you, yes.
Oh, good, because I have an answer. I actually have an answer.
Yay.
So one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned from the previous administration is the key that wherever your attention goes, that's where the power goes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So whatever it is you choose to focus on becomes where your power goes.
Well, it magnifies it. It's through the law. Yes. It's the law of attraction. Yeah.
Right. So you are, and so when we are, when you define yourself as a Democrat or a Republican or a left wing or a right wing or a vaxxer or an anti-vaxxer, like it's okay to be all those things.
Mm-hmm. It's okay
you just
to
have to be.
Are.
Right. It's what you want, but you have to understand that these are things that you're learning about. These are experiences that spirit is having, learning about all these different nuances.
Right.
And it's okay to have all of that stuff, but where you have to focus your energy is on what is it that you came here to do?
Thus, that means we need to go within, right? We need to spend.
Absolutely. We need
to go within and connect with our highest self, whatever that might be for any given person.
Right. So my point of this is, and I'm going to attach it to astrology because I can't help myself. The north node of the moon is in Gemini. And the symbol for Gemini is, let me see if I have, Sorry, my head.
Twins of some sort, right?
It's the Roman numeral 2. Roman, oh my God, Roman numeral, thank you. We're that 2. But let me just see if it's in here. And so it looks like a doorway. And on one doorway, you have the Democrat. The other doorway, you have the Republican. On one doorway, you have the anti-vaxxer. The one doorway is like vaccines for everybody forever for the rest of our lives, right? You have the
Mandate, yeah.
Extremes, right?
Ugh.
And so what do we do? Do we spend all our time on this side? Do we spend all our time on this side? There's a doorway ahead of us. Walk through the portal that is being offered to us. And how do you know that you're going in the right place? You listen to your heart.
Amen.
Your heart chakra becomes your raison d'être, the reason for living. I think that's what that word means. Well, you're French. Do you know what that word means? Raison d'être.
Can you spell that "ert" part?
ERT. It's French. No,
Reason to be. Yeah.
Raison d'être. It's like reason.
Raison d'être.
Maybe that's it.
Raison d'être.
That sounds much better.
Yeah, raison d'être. Reason.
What does it mean?
Reason for being.
What are we here to do? The only way we're going to know is if we look into our own hearts.
Mm-hmm.
What gives us joy? Get out of the fear, which is lower chakra stuff.
Yes.
Very easy to be in the fear.
Oh, it's
We have lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes. And one of the things that the patriarchal or the hierarchical or the fascist state that's going on is all fear-based.
Yes.
And it's making people more fearful is what they want.
Well,
when you choose not to be afraid, when you choose not to be afraid and you choose to be in love, they can't fight that, because in the darkness, once a candle is lit, it's never dark again.
Well, and there's another way to put that. Once we grow to a certain level of vibration or understanding or wisdom or knowledge, there in several different religions, I've read this, well, spiritual traditions, I should say, rather than religions. There is no retrograde step. There is no backwards momentum. Once you come to a certain amount of understanding, you can only move forward. And the understanding does come from the conflict. The understanding does come from experiencing something you don't like and figuring out what you do like, experiencing something that energetically feels horrible and going through the process, which is going into the heart, which is, connecting with your higher self and deciding where you're at and what you feel and what your truth is. And no one has the same truth. Everyone has a bit of a difference in their truth. And I did post that on Facebook, that higher knowledge does not always equal conventional. A higher wisdom is not always the same as conventional wisdom. So if you talk to someone, you say, what is conventional wisdom? You can talk to 10 people and get a variation on 10 different themes, but there is only one me and there's only one you, and every one of us is a soul connected to all that is. And we're also connected to universal wisdom, and we're also connected to what our soul's growth is all about. There's a part of us that knows that, but we have to kind of figure it out because we forgot when we're first born, and that's part of our life.
We come in, but we have all these overlays.
Yeah. The
difference which you brought up with the children are wide awake. There's nothing covering them.
No.
It's like they're a raw nerve.
No, and then people try to cover them over with, like you said, medications. Or authoritative.
Well, the authoritative doesn't work.
No, but people are still doing it, and that's why there's so many kids out there on drugs and running away and whatnot, because they have to be self-determined. They have to be. Most of them have to be, and that's why.
Or they feel so much pain that they don't have a reason, that they ease their pain with drugs. I mean,
that's certainly
a lot of that is self-medication.
Oh, it's all all trauma-based. If anyone's listened to Dr. Gabor Mate,
yeah,
it's all from trauma. It's
That's
all
right.
from trauma, whether it's often this lifetime trauma, but it could be from past lifetime trauma too. But most of the time it's from this lifetime trauma.
Well,
So
this life trauma will magnify the past life trauma.
that's it. Exactly.
Because it doesn't have to be like, there are lifetimes when you get hung, right, because of what you said and you're dead. But this lifetime, every time you feel like you have something to say, you feel like you're choking, is that, just somebody disagreeing with you isn't as bad as somebody cutting your head off, but it feels that way. So those things
Yeah,
sort of come through. You know what I'm saying?
I do, exactly.
That's how that goes from extreme
So
to maybe less.
in terms of practices, like what would you say are some things that people can do to help them reconnect with their authenticity, with their true self, with their true beliefs, and become more centered and calm, as opposed to frenetically drawing in the fear that the divisiveness is causing? Do you have
Yeah.
any idea about that?
Well, yeah, I have a number of ideas. Most of them I do. So
I
I
want to
feel
say
like,
my ideas after you.
yes, of course. I feel like a little aggrandizement here, but getting a chart reading to know who you are. I mean,
That helps.
honestly, just like, and then just, a
Yep.
lot of people have a lot of feelings about themselves that they don't share with other people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when you get a reading and this person who doesn't really know you starts to talk about things that have been in your heart and in your feelings for your whole life, but you haven't voiced them, they're voicing them. It's all of a sudden you're allowed to be who you are, and
Exactly
your
who you are.
feelings get validated.
That's why I
So
love you, Vicki. You've done that for me as a friend all these years. You've done it as a friend. You've given me that experience of helping me to see who I am, like being holding up a mirror through astrology or just through your own personal wisdom, who I am and who I'm working toward being, if I'm not quite there yet. Myself.
so, well, there's just astrological reasons for that, which I won't get into, but well, I will. My Saturn sits on your Mercury.
Mhm.
I think your Mercury is retrograde, isn't it? And my Saturn is retrograde.
I don't
And
remember.
now what's happening is Pluto is coming along and will be on your Mercury and my Saturn in 2022.
Well, I think we're gonna have to keep doing high teas for a while.
High T number 55. Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. You know me. I love chit chatting with you.
I love chit-chatting with you too.
It's, for those of you who've been asking for us and it's been taking this long, it's really, well, I feel it's been me and you might feel it's been you because that's how we are. But I just really needed time to not do anything, just the bare minimal in my life.
I actually went through the same thing for several months. The bare minimum was all I could do. And I wasn't
All I
miserable.
wanted to do. It was all I was interested in doing.
Yeah, I understand completely. And I'm sure the viewers will too. And it's so nice to be back. And hello, everybody. It's so great to be here with you again. All right. So I want to finish up this part of the conversation, at least. I don't know if our time is up or not, but
There's no such thing.
no such thing. Well,
No
I don't
such
know if people are
thing.
going to listen for an hour and a half, Vicki.
Well, that's true, but that's all right. Whatever. They come and go, they'll come and go, maybe come back. You can do that too, right?
True.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. I've been getting astrology charts done for my readings done for myself since I was a kid. My mom was an astrologer, and it is a great tool for self-awareness. And it's a great place to just go, oh, you're right. Yes, I do feel that. It's like it's such a relief to be validated by someone, and also someone who can illuminate the darker areas or the hidden shadows or whatever, and go, yeah, that's why I've been depressed for 6 months. Damn, now I get it. It's I agree 100%. And having a reading is a great way to become more in touch with who you are. I do that. And I also really believe in quieting the mind, and that can include meditation, That can include walks in nature, that can include coloring, that can include gardening, dancing, playing music, singing. It can include a lot of things. But anything that shuts down the rational brain and gets us into the creative side of the brain, we need to slow the freaking roll in the linear brain. It needs to slow down so that we can get what our guides or source or our highest self knows. We are infinitely connected to highest wisdom. And if we're not quiet, we can't receive it. We can't, it's always being poured to us. It's always being given to us, love and answers and understandings and wisdom. And if we're not quiet, we can't receive it. So find ways to get quiet. I highly recommend meditation. I do it every day in different forms. I do different types, but whatever works for you, slow the mind down. Dancing shuts my brain right off. Shuts it off.
It
My
for me,
linear
it
brain
turns on
goes
a
away.
different-
I close my eyes and I dance like a fiend, and
And the
I'm in another
question is,
dimension.
when you dance, where do you feel that in your body?
Where do I feel?
When you dance like that, you say you shut off your mind, and then you just, I imagine.
Going back to the space right now, what I feel
Yes.
when I'm dancing. I feel like my body is in flow with the universe. I feel this swirl.
The
this way.
spiral.
I
That's
feel
the,
the
that's
spiral.
the spiral of evolution.
Yeah, the Fibonacci spiral. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not in my body. I feel like I'm not in my brain. I feel like I'm completely in tune with the music, and music is math, and math is the universe. Thus, music is the universe. There's nothing better to this. I mean, that's one of the best ways, music and dancing, two of the best ways to relieve the burden of the rational linear mind and to increase the activity in the creative side of the mind and to allow more wisdom in. So whatever we have to do that. And I teach that all the time. That's what I do with my clients. I do it all the time. Teach it, and I help them find. And self-care is the other one.
I was just going to say that.
Well, let's both talk about self-care because we probably both do it.
So can I ask you a question before
Yes.
self-care comes up? Are you seeing clients to do
Yes.
touch stuff? Let me tell you, if you're in Massachusetts or in Denise's general vicinity, she's an amazing healer when she puts her hands on you.
I'm also through talking and meditating too. I have other tools, but yeah, I do. I love
but
stuff.
the physical stuff is just, I just want to because I just wanted you to understand the depth of this woman. She can do it by touching you, or she can do it by talking to you on Zoom. She is very, and of course she's Capricorn, so she's grounded.
It's all energy. It's all energy. The way we work is all energy. It's all energy, and I can focus the energy in so many different ways, and I can translate. People come in with their language, and I can translate their language, and I can understand their language and translate it into higher wisdom. And anyway, it's fun. I help people get through their everyday lives. That, as a Capricorn, that's my mission. Is okay. What do you need today?
Right.
To get through the day? What do you need this month? If people see me usually twice a month, my private clients, what do you need right now? What's going on? And we work things through, and we come up with a plan. And
it's almost like you help them refocus on the most important thing, right?
Yeah.
And then deal with whatever that is in the ways that which are myriad.
Well, yeah, I do Reiki. I have a system called Quantum Reiki that I developed. It's a mixture and amalgam of a bunch of different Reikis and other types of metaphysical things. And I do EFT mostly for trauma. When people are stuck with a particular trauma, I generally pull out the EFT. I do the Reiki. I prepare people for the system is people come up, they recognize they have a block that's interfering in every part of their life, usually a trauma. Usually from childhood, usually a parent, but not always, has created all these rules and regulations and overstimulations and whatever. So we figure out what it is. We usually talk about it for a few sessions, and then we do meditate. We do other kinds of things, teach self-soothing as part of self-care. Self-soothing. How do we calm ourselves? How do we soothe our own brains when we're on fire? How do we put the fire out? How do we slow down the blood pressure? How do we slow down the pace? How do we magnify the heart? How do we release unwanted beliefs? This is the kind of stuff I love to work with. And I've done a lot of work on myself. God, no, Vicki's watched my transformation for years and years. And believe me, being a triple Capricorn was not an easy way to get through life. Not an
I
easy.
always knew it was there.
You did. You always believed
Always
in
knew
me.
it was there. I've always, yeah, well,
So
yeah.
anyway,
Well-
that's the self-soothing. What do you want to say about self-care and self-soothing?
Well, I think body work is one of the reasons why I was wondering if you still did the body
Yes,
stuff.
I do.
Body work, healing, just getting a healing or getting in a healing group, connecting with people. These are things that, and I think that's part of self-care, because what I think has happened is that we were humans like interaction, and some of us were kind of like hermited, like you and I tend to have a more hermited life.
Right.
But most people really like the interaction. They're used to it. It's their normal thing. That was sort of taken away and replaced by a virtual thing. And so what that does is it made it much less body, because when you're in somebody's energy, you feel it in your body.
Right.
And this disembodied stuff that most people had to do, what I think it does is it took them out of their bodies. And then now
people are less grounded. Everyone needs hugs. Everyone needs connection. Just like the trees. The trees are all connected with each other, and they grow mushrooms, and they have these relationships. We are not doing as much of that, and we need to bring it back in.
Right.
I don't know how many people you have that you can hug. I don't have a lot of people that I can hug anymore. But the ones I can hug,
right, they get
I
a good
ask.
one.
I can't have a hug. The ones that I get.
No, I'll say. I was like hugging, like yesterday, the other day, I had 3 sisters here. 2 got readings. And they were so cute. Oh my God.
Oh.
They all looked alike in a different way. They all had their own thing. It was like the triple goddess almost to see them. And then they also had a brother who I didn't meet, but I'm like, that brother, he's kind of like the odd man out in this relationship. But I got to hug all of them. And it's, I don't know if you've ever hugged all like I got to hug all 3 sisters, and each one had a different energy when you hug them. And it brings together so I like that experience. So I have had to, but I don't hug a lot because there's not, a lot of the things I do like you is virtual. So we're not, and then I have Michael, thank goodness. I had my mother, which was very intense, but now that she's in the nursing home and they're under lockdown, I can't touch her.
I'm going to recommend, I know we really need to start winding down because I need to get going shortly.
Okay.
But
I guess there's no time for me, but there's time for her.
Did I interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, not at all. No, I'm just saying. I said, oh, no, don't worry about time. And you're like, we have to look at time. That's because she's the Capricorn. The Capricorn rules time. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not rushing off. I'm just saying.
No, you are correct. Because I could, this could be a 2-hour video.
Oh, easily. 2 hours. How many times have we talked on the phone for 3 and 4 hours? We could talk forever. I love that chat we had about hugging and touching. And I think that yesterday I had PT in the pool. And I want to tell you, being submerged in water felt like one giant hug to me. It was absolutely beautiful. So it wasn't a person, but it was the energy of the mother because it was water. And it felt like my whole body got a big, long hug. It was beautiful. So maybe if we took more baths, or if we rubbed ourselves with lotions, if we soothed our bodies and loved our bodies and put on nice scents and, smell pretty and, do things that are soothing to our senses, use a, what do you call it? Not dehumidifier, thing that just put
humidifier.
You put essential oils in it.
Oh, yes.
Diffuser. That's the word.
Yeah.
Diffuser.
Which is kind of a humidifier,
It
actually.
is kind of, yeah.
Kind of a
It
type
is
of
very
humidifier,
similar,
yeah.
yeah. Find ways to make the body feel really loved. And right now we don't get a lot of hugs, but so what else can we do? We can swim, we can bathe, we can oil up ourselves, we can have
Right.
sex
Or
if we
we
have a
can, or we
partner,
can get body work. We can,
get
you know,
body work, get Reiki,
feet. How about
get a
like
massage.
reflexology on your feet? They don't have to get
Oh,
close.
and if you don't have a reflexologist, Vicki knows one, and you can also soak your feet and exfoliate them and rub them with oils. Taking care of your feet is the blessed thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and it's very sensual and it's very grounding at the same time.
When I if you know, Michael is a massage therapist, and
Michael's hands, he's got magic hands, that
he
man.
really is Magic Mike when it comes to his
Magic
hands.
Mike with the hands.
The man is a genius. Either massage or cooking. When he cooks, it's when he feeds you, you're healed.
Absolutely.
That's his food. His food is.
He puts his love in the food, you eat it, and it's like
And
a hug from the
I'll say that
inside.
to him. He'll say, "There's tuna fish in the refrigerator," and I'll be, "Can you make me a sandwich?" And he's like, "You can make a tuna fish sandwich," and I'm like, "Yeah, but it doesn't taste the same." And he goes, "That's the love."
Oh, you got him wrapped, girlfriend.
Well, he loves to do it, so it's
Michael's
I'm
very
making,
nurturing.
yeah, if he's got a Cancer rising, that's why.
I guess the other part of that, other side of the coin, is that we need to be careful. If we love wine, for example, and that makes us feel happy, you know, a couple of glasses of wine once in a while is great.
Yeah.
We want to be careful that we don't overdo that. And eating
Right.
is the same thing. Eating is very soothing and very comfortable and comforting. We want to be careful that we keep ourselves healthy at the same time. So, it's kind of a
Well,
balance.
and I agree with that. And I think a way through that is to, if you're eating, make sure you make it yourself. Like there's a difference between making macaroni and cheese, yourself, and then getting it out of a box, or something even healthier, like,
Yeah, well,
like
that's part of the nurturing.
homemade
That's a
chicken
nurturing.
soup compared to Campbell's in a can.
I just made a new soup. Kale. When I went to New Hampshire to see my friends, they have a garden, and they gave me this huge bok choy. And I've never even cooked bok choy. I've had it before, but never cooked it. And this huge bunch of kale. So I made a bok choy kale soup. I didn't use a recipe. I just made a soup, and it came out fabulous. And it was cooking it, smelling it, tasting it, seeing if it needed more of this or that, was as nurturing to me as actually eating it.
Right. That's why. And then you know what's in it. So even if you eat more of it than might be considered healthy.
Oh, well, you can't eat too much bok choy and.
No, but I'm saying when you're eating what you make,
Yeah.
and it's not like super unhealthy, of course, you could be making gross stuff, but I think that's also something.
Yes.
But the thing is, we have to get into our bodies. Our bodies have to ascend with us.
Yeah.
And if we're not taking care of our physical bodies,
well, our bodies are part of the ascension process. Absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. We have to, but if we want to truly ascend into this new energy, we have to get a body that's healthy enough to withstand the vibrations of the higher frequencies. And that's going to take care. That takes body care.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we've talked a lot about some healing stuff and how to keep ourselves grounded, centered, connected, and there's a lot more we could talk about. It's a wonderful topic. Self-soothing is so important. I'd like to, before we end, I would like to just say a little bit about mental self-soothing when our minds are too active and busy and we're worried and we're frantic and that kind of thing.
Yes. Awesome.
I'm just going to breathe a little bit, and I'm going to channel a self-soothing experience. It'll only take a minute. Everything's okay. There's nothing to worry about. You've overcome so much worse so many times before. Why worry this time? Trust yourself. I'm going to put it in the I statement, in the I form. I trust myself. I know that I am okay. I know that I am connected. I know that I have everything that I need. And if I don't have it yet, it is on its way. All is well. I am completely supported by all that is source energy, God, if you will, angels, if you will. I have so much support, and I also have support on the ground. I have an army waiting to help me whenever I need it. I have people that love me. I have family. I have friends. I have connections on Facebook. I have so much support. All is well. Everything always works out the way it's supposed to. I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be fine. This is just another thing, just a thing. I'll be all right. There's nothing serious going on here. I'm just going to love myself right now. That's a way to talk yourself to self through self-soothing, though using those types of words.
Awesome. That
Yeah,
was great.
I do that.
So
that to myself.
so unfortunately we do have to wrap up, but
We do.
before we do, there's something called the MetNet that has been a brain child or a real child.
Baby, it's been my baby.
Been her baby for a really long time.
Since
and,
2008, it was created in 2008.
Oh, you mean when Pluto went into Capricorn?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
It was downloaded to me at 3 a.m. I had to get out of bed and write down the whole format.
You know, as you say that, the thing that comes to my mind is when Pluto went into Capricorn, Capricorns were given the choice to
grow or go,
come to terms with their power or leave. And if you're here, you're coming to terms with your power. And
so it's the Metaphysical Network, aka MetNet, and it's been around since 2008.
So how can people connect? Can they connect through your website?
Yeah, the Metaphysical Network is looking for presenters. We're going virtual. We were always live and in person for 12 years, and now things have changed and we're going virtual. And we're looking for presenters and seekers. So if you go to my website, scroll down on the home page, there's a whole section about MetNet, what it's all about. It's about connecting and educating now globally. It used to be kind of local, but now it's on the internet, so it's global. It's global. But so, you know, I had a dream about MetNet going global, and now it's starting to actually
happen. Yay!
So I would love to get to know new people. So contact me through my website.
And I'm going to do something for you, right?
Yeah. Vicki's going to do a MetNet presentation.
I'm going to do
November or December.
We're thinking probably December.
Probably December.
Well, maybe no. Oh, we'll see. November or December, not October, because I'm going away. I'll be talking about 2022. What we can, just a little thing, not in the depth that I'm going to do, later. But
so yeah, the classes, I can't wait because Vicki's been doing MetNet presentations forever, and she's always drawn a big crowd, and people love her, and I'm thrilled to have her. But I've got a plant medicine guy lined up. I've got a soul healer lined up. She's an author and a channel and a soul healer. I've got, did I ever say the plant medicine guy? I've got a guy that does heart coherence,
heart
coherence. His name's Kyle. Can't wait to have him. And I have a medical intuitive named Wendy Marks, who's been part of MetNet since day one, since the organizational meeting. So yeah, so it's a wide array. Sometimes we have all different types of practitioners, teachers, artists, musicians, all different types of stuff. That's all about healing. That's what it's basically about. So anyway, thanks for letting me plug that. It's called the Metaphysical Network, and you can find it on my website. And Vicki's going to put my website on the it's
down below. What is your website? Just say
it's
it.
www whatever one mind spiritual guidance. No, I said it wrong. That was my old website.
See, that's what I always get confused. Do it now.
OneMindSpiritualServices.com. It's all one word. One Mind Spiritual Services. No capitals or anything. So get in touch with me. And I also have a Facebook page. Friend me on Facebook. I have MetNet has its own Facebook page, as by the way. You can write the Metaphysical Network, and the Facebook page will come up, and it'll take you right to it, or you can type it in the search bar. So
I am just going to end this call with picking an Illuminated Earth Oracle card. We
Oh,
told
I
you.
love that deck. I use it all the time. You gave it to me.
Yeah.
It's a
I
blessing.
gave it to you as, was it your birthday present?
No, it was something between, you just gave it to me for no reason, I think. Maybe it was a
No, it
belated
wasn't.
birthday.
No, it was a birthday present. That's right, because it was
Oh,
a
yeah. Yeah,
yes,
it was
it
a
was a
birthday
birthday
present.
present.
You're right. I thought it was
So,
happy.
haha, I had it first, so I get to use it first. Haha.
You get to pick a card.
Pick a card, pick a card, pick any card.
Pick a
See?
card. I'm from Boston.
Yeah, I know, right?
Card. Pick a card, any card.
The card is mystery.
Ooh, I love
Mystery.
that.
What do you see in this?
What I feel is that all things that feel mysterious and unknowable are actually knowable. And when we point our attention toward the center, the top of the pyramid, which is our highest self and our connection to all that is, we have the base, which is very strong. The base is our groundedness, and the inner circle is our heart, and this is our third eye. And we're part of triple spheres. We're part of all the sacred geometry, connected to all the wisdom, and it all starts and expands through the heart, which is the center geometrical circle in the
You
pyramid.
know, this looks like stardust going through the
Yeah.
process of incarnation to create this beautiful pyramid. That's what it
Gorgeous.
looks like to me.
It's alchemy for sure.
Yeah. I love this deck. This is the
beautiful.
Illuminated Earth Oracle by Claire Mack. She's actually an artist in Seattle, I think Seattle area.
Mm.
And when you buy it, she sends you a little card and a little thank you note. So,
She does. Yeah. Yeah, I got one.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that was
yeah.
great. That was a nice card. Vicki, I've had a blast as usual. Thank you.
Oh, me too. What took us so long, me?
I
you?
know. Who knows?
Life.
Timing is
Okay.
everything.
Everything is in perfect timing. We have an opposition between Uranus and Venus today. And Uranus is a planet associated with friendship. And Venus, of course, is female friendship.
Oh,
So there's something also brewing with female friendship right now. So
that wonderful.
we need to make sure we keep our friends, no matter what they think and who they think is doing a better job politically, doesn't matter. Keep your friends and keep them on whatever level that you can. Because you're going to just have to be ancillary out at the edges where you every now and again you reach out to them, and then they'll be the ones that are closest. But we have to stay connected whether we agree with people or not.
We have to find a way to manage to accept each other and be tolerant and say, you know what, you have a right to your truth and I have a right to my truth, and I like you even though you disagree, and I want to be in your energy even though you disagree. And that needs to be reciprocated though for that to work. It really does take the two sides to agree to that, even if it's not spoken. Like you and I could disagree on something, but we wouldn't even have to say those words. Do you know what I mean? Because we would just do that for each other automatically. But it's been a lot of fun. I thank you. I thank you. I thank all your listeners and your viewers, and I'm very, very happy to have been here today. So
All right.
everyone have a great day.
And look for our next high tea. I think it's going to be magical number 11.
Woo,
But I will keep you posted. Take care, everyone. Much love.
Much love. Are we off?